Here is my audience. This is a portion of my family. My name is Amy Lanning, and I'm going to give you a speech on how to tie a tie. The tie has a long-standing history in the United States and throughout the world. It started in the 17th century when Croatian mercenaries came to France to give King Louis XIII their support during the 30-Year War. This war was between 1618 and 1648. These mercenaries were professional soldiers who were paid to fight for France. They wore pieces of material around their neck which held the top of the uniform together. King Louis thought it looked wonderful. After the war was over, he decided that piece of material would become a mandatory part of the royal dress code at all royal gatherings. Since then, the tie has evolved and many different types of ties and types of knots have been invented. In 1920s, the classic tie, which we now have today, was first invented. There are many different types of tie knots that I could show you how to do. Some of them are the four-handed knots, the half Windsor, the Windsor, and the Pratt knot. I'm going to show you how to do the Windsor knot. This is a classic type of knot and one of the most popular one worn by many men. To start off, you put the tie around your neck and you put your collar up like this. You take the thicker part in your dominant hand, which for me is my right hand, and the thinner part goes in your non-dominant hand. One of the most tricky parts about tying a tie is getting the right proportion down. You don't want this to be too long, but you don't want it to be too short. Otherwise, your tie could end up being at a very awkward length. For me, I know it has to be about this long. To start off, you put the thicker part over top of the thinner part. You then go through the loop like this and you put it down and it looks like this. Next, you go across the bottom and you go again through the loop. This makes a triangle, which is the foundation of your knot. Then you go over top of that triangle for a little encasing, and then you go up through the hole and then underneath just that outer layer to form your knot. At this point, you can adjust it if it doesn't look quite right. You take the back piece, that little piece in the back, and you hold onto it and you can push up so that it is the appropriate height around your neck. Last, you take your collar and you flip it over top of your tie until it looks just right. Thank you all for listening to my speech. I hope it taught you a little bit about the different types of ties and how to tie a knot. Once again, here is my audience.